Day 2 of my 2020 Roan trip did not start off with an early wake-up call and a hike in the dark to go shoot sunrise. Instead, I decided to have breakfast next to a small campfire at my cabin, and then I got packed up for my day's adventures. My cabin for the weekend was a stone's throw away from Elk River Falls, and all during breakfast I had not seen a single car drive by, so I decided that Elk River Falls was the best place to start day 2 of my 2020 Roan trip. Alright, so this morning at Elk River Falls was pretty good. As you can hear behind me, the water is running really hard. Sorry, the microphone got in the way there. You know, I made a couple of nice images that I'm really happy with and demonstrated a little bit about using a shorter shutter speed in the front and a longer shutter speed in the distance, because sometimes the water close to the camera is not moving as fast as the water in the background. And Elk River Falls is a great place for that, because the falls is so tall that the water coming down there, to be able to get a little nice sinews of water, it has to be for a longer shutter speed. My next stop was a return to a composition along the Doe River that I had found on my trip last year, but at the time wasn't properly prepared to shoot. This year, I was prepared to get in the water and get the shot that I didn't get last year. Alright, so I've moved on upstream just a little bit to a spot that I noticed last year that has this tree with these beautiful green leaves. They're just barely overhanging this little section of flat rocks that have some great spillovers. And last year it was so humid that there was mist and steam rising off the water. This year we don't really have that. It's more just nice, clean, clear running water, and there's no wind, so that's really helping keep the leaves still. So I'm shooting this with an ND filter and the circular polarizer, and I'm shooting a series of images because I can blend in this area up here with the leaves from a slower exposure, if I need to, into the area that is down in here for the moving water. And I'll blend in a shorter or longer exposure here for those spillovers, and shorter exposures for this area where I like that texture that's coming right underneath the camera. Because I'm now knee deep in the water. I'm standing right at the base of where these little rapids let out. After drying off and packing up, it was time to head back up toward Carver's Gap to start the rest of my afternoon exploring the Roan Highlands. The clouds moving overhead created patterns of light and shadow, both on the azaleas and in the trees. I never grow tired of the vistas. I could sit and look at them all day. The flame azalea native to this area captures my attention more than all of the other flowering plants. The grassy balds are littered with these massive rocks that always manage to capture my attention. Down the backside around Bald is an easy hike that prepares you for Engine Gap and Jane's Spald off in the distance. I found a great spot to have some lunch. I thought I had it all to myself. Way down off the trail, sitting down in the bushes, enjoying the flame azaleas and the catawba rhododendron and the clouds passing overhead. But soon other people found me, and that told me it was time to move on. Alright, so I'm on my way up to Jane's. I've been up on my way to Jane's for a couple hours now. I've stopped several places and shot some time lapse and some video and made some stills. But I got a couple hours to go, and I was just looking for something different, something I'd not seen or done before. And I was just about to make the grueling part of the hike up to Jane's when I saw some flame azaleas, and then I saw this little grassy field down below. And I don't know if you can kind of see what's going on back there. It's just over my shoulder. Well, that's the microphone. One of these days I'll learn how to use all this stuff. But you know, you can kind of see it over my shoulder there. But it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got some soft light. When I first got down here, the wind wasn't blowing at all, so everything was really still. The wind's picked up just a little bit now, so I think it's time to make the rough part of the hike up to Jane's. Back in a familiar spot that I knew well. I knew I was only going to try to create one image from this sunset. I was just hoping the clouds would stick around and not burn off like they usually do. As I started the hike back down from Jane Bald, I knew that there was a chance for bad weather the next day, and that my chances of getting back out into the Highlands were slim. And just like that, my 2020 Roan trip was coming to an end. I've enjoyed sharing my Roan 2020 trip with you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comments. Until next week, may the good light find you.